We live.
We're live.
So we're going to say the quiet part out loud. Okay. Not everyone should leave the United States. And that's not an insult, that's a discernment. Because leaving the US is not a mood, it's not a political phase, and it's not a threat you make and never act on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle shift that requires adaptability, humility, and emotional range.
So today we're doing the opposite of what people expect. We're telling you when you should stay in the US of A. All right. We're not saying this from theory. We've been living outside of the United States for how long now?
For a grip of years.
Right. For about almost 4 years
Almost 4
now.
years.
We've helped hundreds of Black Americans, Black folks actually, plan, prepare, and successfully relocate. And we've also seen who struggles.
Oh, yeah. We've seen it. And not because they're weak,
No.
not because they're wrong,
Mhm.
but because they wanted to change without adaptation.
Mhm.
And that doesn't work anywhere on this globe.
No. So, all right. So, we're going to talk about that and a lot more. We're going to tell you the 10 reasons you might want to go ahead and stay in the United States. All right. We're going to introduce ourselves first. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and life abroad. We help folks who look like us, who are getting close to retirement age and forgot to plan, get their money straight so that they can retire on time or maybe even abroad.
And early is very, very good also.
All right, sweetheart. So what are we talking about?
So today we're going to talk about the 10 reasons you're not ready to leave the United States, and maybe you should just stay.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight is simple. We're giving
it's tonight here. All right, it's today there.
Yeah, it's tonight.
It's 10 o'clock at night here, y'all.
Today night is it's simple. We're giving 10 honest reasons you should stay in the United States.
And then our Utopian Legends. Do we have you?
Oh, we
got at least one Utopian Legend back there in the backstage. If you are a Utopian Legend, look in on our homepage under posts, and you can get the link to come behind stage and then come on air with us, right? So our Utopian Legends will come on air to finish one sentence that matters. No debate, no defensiveness, just clarity. So before we get into the 10 reasons, I'm going to go ahead and bring the legends on because, and any legend who still wants to come on, go ahead, look on the post, get the link, and come backstage. But we're going to bring A. Lee because A. Lee has been here for a long, long time, y'all. A long, long time. She has been a dedicated utopian for a long, long time. Right.
Hey
Lee, how you doing?
Hi, nice to see y'all. It's
You
always
too.
good whenever you come.
Right? All
Y'all
right.
able to hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Awesome.
All right. And everybody in the chat, let us know that you can hear Ailey as well because we can hear her just fine. We should probably put on some, this is what we should always do. All right. So we're going to put on some headphones, but in the meantime, in between time, we're going to get to the number one reason you should stay in the USA. If graffiti bothers you more than the state of violence, if a tag on the wall, you're making too much noise.
That's yours.
If a tag on the wall feels more threatening than systemic harm, other countries may stress you the hell out, all right? On a daily. As a matter of fact, I just saw some graffiti right around the corner from where we live talking about kill the USA. And then down the street, the USA should die. Is that what it said? The USA should die. I think that's what it said. Hey, Lee, where you living?
Orlando. In the hood.
In the
I've been in the hood all my life, so it ain't nothing new.
in the hood of Orlando.
Yes, West Side is considered the hood. It was divided between I-4 on the east side was the white side, on the west side was the black side.
See,
That's how it was divided, and it's been that way ever since.
see how they do.
Mm.
See how
So,
they do. See how they do. I'm not going to say that there is not segregation here in Portugal. And I don't know the history as far as like redlining or something like that here in Portugal. But one thing that I do know is that a lot of immigrants, and especially immigrants of color, do live in certain areas. Now, yeah, I ain't sure if that's by design, if that is by law. What I do know is that very few Black or POC expats from Canada, Britain, or America live in those areas.
uh,
I don't know. Y'all know what I mean. So, Ailey, how do you feel about graffiti?
not a problem.
Right?
Not a
Look,
problem at all.
right? Like graffiti does not equal bad neighborhood, y'all.
No, it don't.
Not necessarily. Okay. And now I don't remember graffiti being a thing in Colombia, in Medellin, Colombia, per se.
No, not in a lot of the areas that we were in. I mean,
Right.
when you went up to Comuna 13 or something like that,
But
but there
that's
was a lot of
different
artwork
because
too.
that's artwork, right? Exactly. So that wasn't tagging, that was more like street art. And to me, there's a difference, right? In our
Mhm.
neighborhood, there's tagging. There's political messages with some spray paint. Ain't no art to it. It ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. So look, y'all, if that's something that like works on your peace of mind, then maybe you need to stay in the United States, because in other countries, it's just not as big of a deal,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, so y'all, we are talking about 10 reasons to stay in the United States. Really, what we're talking about are things that you need to be aware of if you choose to leave the United States. And we're going to continue this conversation on Sunday with some, we're going to get down to it. But
Yeah.
today we're going to keep it light. We're going to keep it light. And if you are a legend, come on backstage and you can join us and Ailey
Yes.
backstage,
Please join us.
right?
Come on now.
To talk about the reasons why abroad is, I'm going to put it this way, why you need to think carefully before you choose to leave the United States. All right. So number 2.
Number two is you should stay in the U.S. if clothes drying on the line outside makes you uncomfortable. Because this is normal in most of the world. And if that reads as backwards to you, Europe is definitely not the place for you. Because everybody ain't got washers and dryers, y'all.
Exactly.
Not because they can't afford them, but because a lot of places just don't have the room.
You don't have the space and the electricity. I'm going to say the electricity is abnormally expensive here. And when I say abnormally, I don't mean like, oh my God. But in comparison to everything else here in Portugal, the electricity is expensive. Now, that's not necessarily true around the rest of the world. So, Aileen, where's your place? Where are you moving to, baby?
Remember, I wanted to live either in Japan, but I want to slow-mo. So Japan, Lisbon, and also Panama. Those are the 3 I'm centering around first. But like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I bet you dollars to donuts. I don't remember. I don't look. You know what's this is what's interesting. I don't remember a lot of graffiti in Panama. Do you?
No,
I don't remember a lot
that
of
would have been
graffiti
brought
in
really,
Colombia,
yeah,
right?
to our
But
attention.
okay, so this is interesting, y'all. This is interesting. In South Africa was the first place that we like, what the hell with the graffiti? And even on the school walls and the school desks and things like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Remember that? Like it was like, what the heck is going on? And then when we came to Europe the first time,
Yeah.
I don't care if it was Spain,
Yep.
Italy, England. Where else did we go? Are those the 3 countries we went to?
Yep.
And Greece.
It was so crazy in Madrid when we got there that when the taxi driver dropped us off at the hotel, not hotel, the apartment that we were staying in, we were like, "Oh, we ain't staying there for real." It was graffiti.
No.
It was graffitied up, and it was like, "No, we ain't. We're not staying here." And he kicked us out of his car and said, "No, this is the address you're getting out."
Yeah, as a matter of fact, get out now.
And when we got out and we actually went in, it was totally modern, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. And what was a little bit heartbreaking, I remember walking down the small, they weren't streets. They can't be street. I don't know what a street is in Venice because there are no cars on the island of Venice.
No.
Off the mainland. There's no cars, right? The only taxis and things like that are water taxis. Gondolas and things like that, right? So you're walking down these narrow pathways that say street, right? They say street, but can't nobody but some people and maybe a small tuk-tuk can get down those streets.
Yeah.
And even down those narrow streets, we saw graffiti. These like old, like 1,000-year-old homes where people had their lines up above. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Even in the tourist areas of Venice, y'all, Venice, Italy, there was graffiti. And it was like, y'all spray painting 600, 700, 800-year-old walls. Are you kidding me right now? But this is what was normal.
Yeah. It's normal in Europe.
This is what is normal in Europe. And I'm gonna say, but I ain't been every place. I ain't got the facts to back this up, but I find it interesting that the place of the colonizers, right? And then South Africa, which basically still is white run. Now, I've never been to Australia, so I don't know. But I find it very interesting that the place where folks who are oppressors have had power, in those places, we see lots and lots of graffiti. I don't know what that means. The same with the United States. The only thing about the United States is that the cities say, if there's graffiti, that's a bad neighborhood. Outside of the United States, that is not necessarily the case.
Not at all.
Right? That's not necessarily the case. So number 3, you should stay in the USA if everyone not speaking English makes you feel uncomfortable, like it's your personal inconvenience, right? If language diversity to you is not disrespect, okay. But expecting the world to accommodate American monolingualism, if that is a deal breaker for you,
yeah,
you need to stay your ass at home. That's what you need to do. You need to stay your ass at home. So, Aileen, you about to learn Japanese?
When I learned, it was a long time ago,
Okay.
but the way I was learning it was I had a Japanese friend named Tomomi, and she was slowly helping me, and we learned by songs, words, and I had at the time she just gave me, I could call her and ask right quick if something I didn't understand. Plus I was learning by asking, looking on the TV and watching Japanese with English subtitle.
Okay.
That's basically how I was learning then. I don't know it now again, but I figure if I'm immersed in it again like I was then, I can become that way again. And that's with any language. I learned Spanish in high school and college.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Mhm. So that's my
I
goal.
I took French in high school and college. Now, I'm not going to say I learned French in high school and college. I'm going to say I took French in high school and college. On the other hand, my best friend across the street, her family, her dad served in Japan, and so they had an adopted Japanese family because I guess of what we did to Japan back in the day. It seems weird to have like an adoptive Japanese family today. Like, wait, what? But this was back in the early 60s, late 70s, right? Like what, 15, 20 years, 30 years or so after Hiroshima, 40 years after Hiroshima. So it was still recovering. And the mom and daughter would come every other year to San Diego, California and stay with my best friend's family. And so we had to learn Japanese, some Japanese phrases and stuff to be polite, you know. And the one thing that sticks out in my mind, because the mom, my best friend's mom, was fluent in Spanish. And so she was teaching us phrases. And I can't even remember what you might know what the definition is, but she would tell us to remember by saying, don't touch the mustache.
Mm.
Don't touch the mustache. It was something like that. And I don't remember what that means, and I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. If anybody speaks Japanese, don't touch the mushte, something like that. And it was something like I don't remember.
I've not heard that one before. Really, I haven't. I mean,
It's what you
the
remember, right?
phrases that come to mind is Ohio gozaimasu,
Of
which
course, of
is
course. Like thank you very much and stuff like that. Ohio
yes,
gozaimasu. Ohio gozaimasu. I remember
it's
that.
basically that's small amount. Yes.
It's so okay. So I'm seeing if anybody can know
Is
what
it
I'm saying
translating it?
because I don't remember. I do not remember, but I do remember the appreciation, right? The appreciation for and respect for other cultures and other languages, and unfortunately, most Americans don't have that. And that's one of the reasons why we're in the situation that we're in today,
Right.
right? So Trevor Noah has this brilliant podcast, and I haven't watched in a minute, but Josh Johnson, and his co-host, a young lady who's also from Africa, would do this "If I Rule the World" series,
Mhm.
and I think it was the young lady because we smarter. Anyway, I think it was the young lady who suggested that if she ruled the world, she would mandate that every single, or maybe it was Josh, it wasn't Trevor. She would mandate that every single high school student had to spend a semester abroad. And if you couldn't afford it, the state would pay for you, the government would pay for you, da 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 da. But everyone to graduate from high school in the United States would have to do a semester abroad.
Nice.
Would that
Yeah,
not change? Like, if that would have been mandated even since like after I was out of high school, like from the 80s, 90s on, like I think we would not have Trump if they had mandated that.
be a different world.
It would be a different world.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I
For the
believe
better.
so. I
For the
really
better.
believe so. I agree with you.
Right?
To understand and learn another language and another culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And so if you believe that, let us know from the future. If you're watching from the future, let us know what you think about that idea. And if you're watching in the chat, let us know as well. I forgot to say, if you're new to our channel, you might not know, back in 2018, Rick and I got a wake-up call.
Yeah.
We looked at our money, y'all. We looked at our money. It looked crazy.
Crazy.
But we got our financial act together and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth, y'all. What am I going to say, Ailey? If we can do it,
you can do it too.
You can
I
do
know
it.
I can.
You can do it too. All right. So if any of that sounds interesting to you, what do we need you to do? Subscribe. It is free. All right. We do not hold anything behind the paywall except for our time. All right. Any information that involves critical thinking is not behind the paywall, both on Substack or on YouTube. So if you want to be a member, you can come on like Ailey is right now, or join us behind the scenes on Sundays. But otherwise, that's just supporting the channel, y'all. We are not going to hold information back because the time that we are in right now is too important for the nonsense, for the BS. Right? Right.
Yes.
All right.
We should be on number 4.
Number 4.
So number 4, you should stay in the USA if you need everything to work the same way. Same apps, same banking speed, customer service, and how they speak to you, and the same food substitutions, which we need to get away from that stuff if you're in the States. You know, that's not relocation. That's exporting expectations.
That's right.
And you don't need to do that.
That's right.
You don't want to do that.
You do not want to do that. All right. Our residency expire. Okay, I want you to look at what ICE is doing right now. We're going to talk about BS that happened in Minneapolis on Sunday. But I want you to look at what ICE is doing right now, and I want you to think about our lives. Our residency expired in May of 2025. Our residency expired May 2020. That's not our fault. Like we did, like in January to February, we were calling our immigration person and saying, okay, what do we need to do to get ready for May? We called, we tried to make appointments. They were like, okay, so if your stuff expires between this date and that date, we gonna just say you don't really expire until October 31st. Okay, well, that date has come and gone. And we've had our appointment, but we still do not have our green card. Not because we didn't do what we were supposed to do, but because the system works slowly.
Very slowly.
Here in Portugal.
Yeah.
We had our appointment before we even left for the Americas, y'all, before we did Colombia and Panama and Curacao and all of that, way before all of that. We had our appointment and we gave all of the necessary information according to our immigration person, and we ain't heard jack squat. Oh, we did hear back from the IRS about how much taxes we owe.
Yeah, no, they did say that.
That got back real quick.
Expediently.
But the yes on us being able to stay here longer, we ain't heard jack squat. And everybody just says, stay calm, stay in place, do not go. You know, our landlord and everybody else is like, no worries, right? They let us back in with expired stuff. They did. But if you need everything to be like chop, 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 if you need no ambiguity, you need to stay your behind in the United States, unless you got hundreds of thousands of dollars and you can move to Switzerland. Because they might have stuff chop, chop, chop. I don't either, Ailey. I don't either, right? We ain't rolling like that.
Exactly.
Because for Switzerland, last I checked, you have to have literally 6 figures coming in every month, regardless of whether you are retired or not. Okay. So and apparently their stuff is chop, chop, chop. In southern Western Europe, right? Spain, Portugal, Greece, Italy. Mm, mm, mm. If everything being expeditious, like if not being expeditious, if having ambiguity jacks you up, you need to stay your behind in the United States.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Patience is a virtue.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's definitely needed here. It's like I went to have my leg looked at by a specialist, and I'm standing outside. My number comes up. It tells me which cabinet to go to or gabinet to go to, and I'm standing there because in the United States, and I was thinking, we are so trained in the United States to where we're used to a nurse or assistant coming to get us, walking us to wherever we need to be, and placing us to where we need to be to see the doctor or whatever. They don't do that here.
Mm-mm.
Your number pops up, you go back to the back to where you're supposed to go, and there might be, and there was, a line of people in the same area. What was I supposed to do? Just walk in the door that I was supposed to not? I didn't know. I was waiting for a nurse or something to come out and grab me and pull me in, which never happened. I went down the hallway, saw a lady on the computer, went down to her, and she said, "Oh, just, of course, we're trying to communicate." She says, "Number 10, number 10." And I'm standing at number 10. And finally, the doctor walked out. And his name was Ricardo. And I said, "Well, so was I just supposed to walk in?" And he said, "Okay, it's okay." It's like, well, I didn't know. I'm waiting for somebody to come out and get me.
Exactly.
But there's things that it's like uncomfortable little moments and stuff because you don't know, because you're used to something else. You're used to, being pampered, so to speak.
To a certain extent.
Yeah.
To a certain extent. Good and bad, because just to, I don't know why I'm going to bring this up, but I'm in the process of changing my mom's healthcare system in the United States. And before we do that, we've got to get every single piece of her medical records in our hands to give to the next place. Now, see, this was something Obamacare was supposed to eliminate, y'all, but y'all allowed the GOP to stifle those things because everything was supposed to be electronic. And you should be able to transfer stuff with your social security number from one provider to the other, but that never happened. And it ain't happening here either. But at least here in Portugal, and it's probably the case in a lot of other countries, you get the stuff in your hand. So literal X-rays, MRIs.
Oh, yeah.
And pictures from probing stuff, looking at your innards. You get the pictures in your hand in a folder that you can take to your your GM or whatever have you. It's a whole different world.
It truly is.
Right?
It truly is. But the good thing about it, the plus side is I went to a specialist, a knee specialist. I had another series of x-rays, a full series of x-rays taken, and it cost me 48 euro.
And that's after you had the MRI on your knee.
Oh, yeah, that's way after the MRI and stuff. But he ordered another, and I did it right then and there. Because I was like, do I have to come back? He said, no, 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 no. Just go down the hall.
Last time I had some X-rays in the United States, it was like 15 years ago. They were X-raying stress, y'all. These people had me so stressed out. I had all this back pain. And as soon as I left that job, the pain went away. But they did X-rays because I didn't know. And them X-rays, aliens laughing. And these X-rays cost me hundreds and hundreds of dollars on top of employer-based insurance. And this was like, hell, 2014, 2015, 2016, way back when, like over a decade ago.
That is sad. That is sad.
Isn't it? I mean, but that's typical. Like if y'all have different experiences today, I don't think so. Because Obamacare was stronger, the ACA was stronger, right? Back in 2014, 2015, 2016, around the time when my folks on that job was stressing me the hell out. And I had all this back pain, and come to find out it was nothing but stress because they took them X-rays and couldn't find anything. But in the meantime, in between time, I had to give up like $300 to $400 for those X-rays.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
With employer-based insurance, y'all. With employer-based insurance. So yeah, I know Mr. For Your Sister is saying pre-existing conditions. What does he say? Wait, pre-existing conditions now matter since they killed the ACA. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like pre-existing conditions have mattered for most of our adult lives. All of us who are 60 plus, right? For the majority of our adult lives, I remember like not allowing them to diagnose my son with asthma until I got him on employer-based insurance. I knew he had it, but I would not let them diagnose because that would be a pre-existing. And that's a damn shame. This is how y'all are living in the United States. This is not a thing. It is a thing and it's not a thing. What am I saying? So for private health insurance here in Portugal, a pre-existing is a thing. And they won't necessarily deny you, but they will charge you more. But at the end of the day, there's still the public system that doesn't deny anyone. Okay. So even if you move to a place where the private will deny you, the public won't. Not here in Portugal.
Nice.
So you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
Right? You don't have to worry about like not allowing your daughter or son to be diagnosed with asthma before you get them onto some employee-based plan.
I can't say much. I don't have insurance right now.
See? And are you in the States?
Yes.
Oh,
I go to
my
an emergency. It's the emergency room. And apply for Medicaid.
So do you qualify for Medicaid?
Yes.
And did you get it?
Nope. And the only reason why I didn't is because I don't want that to be on my record, and I would have had to do it within 30 days.
What do you mean you didn't want
But
it on
when
your
I
record?
told you I had an accident in April,
Mm-hmm.
I went through a lawyer to go after the person who I had the accident with. And that's the reason why I didn't apply, because then it would have went to them.
Oh.
I see.
But
And
blessing for me, I didn't get hurt as much, and it covered basically as much of it is. I'm now going through financial aid through the hospital to cover that rest of the bill. That's how expensive it is. They want $65,000 from me. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They want the equivalent of a a middle class luxury car. A healthy down payment on a condo.
Yes.
That's what they want for a hospital bill, y'all. This is not normal. But hey, if you don't mind that, if you want to feel like and pretend like you've got the best healthcare in the world, you
You
need to
don't.
stay behind in the United States. That's what you need to do. Stay in the United States. If you need to make sure that your doctor is American, stay in the United States. If you believe that the United States teaches the best doctors, stay in the United States.
No, they don't.
I know, baby. Right? We know. We know. And the ones like sometimes we train them and then they go home and they adopt and they adapt. You know, their Eastern philosophies and this and that, and they're holistic and all of that, on top of what they might have learned at Harvard or what have you. Number 5, you should stay in the USA if you believe rules are merely suggestions. Many countries value process, paperwork, patience. But if you think, oh, it'll be fine, if you think it'll be fine is a strategy, it won't be, y'all. It will not be. And we're going to get more into that on Sunday. It will be fine is not a strategy.
No.
Yeah.
The United States thought it would be a good idea to stop, abduct, or whatever the hell they did, a Russian vessel, a Russian
Tanker.
oil tanker. What that sounds like to me, is wanting to start World War III, because America does not F with Russia directly unless you trying to feel something. You trying to like,
Good emotes. Mm-hmm.
who's up for this stuff?
Yeah.
Who's up for this stuff? Did you see that? Did you see
I
what
actually did, and that's the reason why I was like, this fool trying to get us into another war.
Yeah.
Don't he know that it's gonna tank our economy deliberately?
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if y'all remember right after the Iraq war that Bush got us into. So, no.
right. And Tashika says, Tashika said it was 2 oil tankers. I didn't hear that. Did you read that?
I didn't see 2 oil tankers.
And yes, the Melon Felon is also talking about Greenland, Canada, Colombia, Panama, Cuba. Where else? That's all I know. That's all I can think of right offhand. Venezuela is one thing. Venezuela, where 90%, 85 to 90% of the population is poverty level as far as we're concerned. I was just talking to my tutor yesterday, or the day before yesterday, y'all. No, yesterday. She lives in Venezuela, born and raised in Venezuela. Her whole family's in Venezuela. And so we'll talk about that on Sunday. But Venezuela is one thing. Colombia is a democracy. And everybody has recognized the growth that Colombia has done to make sure that they put any of the quote unquote cartel type people underground and let's do stuff for the people. When we were there, we felt safe. I'm going to tell y'all.
Yeah.
We walked at night. We walked during the day. We walked. We took public transportation. We took Ubers. We felt safe. at all times of day. Don't get it twisted. Colombia is not the Colombia of the 1980s or the 1990s. I like if on a grade level, if Venezuela is an F, Colombia is a C, right? America is a C too, quiet as a skip. But as far as power and money goes, it's going to be an A, right? Greenland is an A. It's part of the Netherlands.
Yes, Danish.
Canada is an A. It's part of NATO and Mexico is part of NATO. Y'all, like, this man is tripping.
Yeah, he really is.
This man is tripping. But if you want, if your thing is, I've got to find a forever place, you might want to stay your behind in the United States, because we are not in an era of that. Not for folks who want to stay out of the way of white folks and white folks' issues. Because this is a white folk issue. This is not our issue. It is only our issue insofar as the colonization of POC countries, et cetera, right? But we didn't start this shit, and we cannot end this shit, okay? This is between the white folks, because white is a construct. It's not a thing. There's no such thing as white country, just like there's no such thing as black country, right? It's a construct.
Mm-hmm.
But it's their construct for political reasons. And this is their demise that is coming up. It is their devolution that is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And so we need to decide what our role is in the demise of Western civilization, and what we believe we need to prove or do, because white folks are tripping. What you looking up?
I was going to look it up, but no, Mexico is not part of NATO.
I thought it was.
They're not.
So what is it? It's because we kind of talked about this on the other side. I think we talked about this on Sunday. Okay, so Mexico is not, but has strong ties. It's just that the trade treaty, which doesn't make any difference on this. So I don't know. Mexico maintains close security and economic ties with the U.S. and Canada. Well, maybe with Canada now, but not with the U.S. That's for damn sure. So, all right, number 6.
You should stay in the U.S. if you need to be the loudest person in the room.
Oops.
In many cultures, silence is not weakness. Listening is not submission. If volume equals power in your mind, you're going to struggle. You're going to really struggle.
I remember when one of our mentors, Aman, of Our Rich Journey, went back to the United States after being here in Portugal for like 2 years or so and hadn't gone back to the United States. And he was like, one of the first things he realized was how loud it was. How loud. And I'm not saying that other folks don't know how to have fun. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, other cultures don't, talk yakety smackety and stuff like that. I'm not saying that. But damn, Americans are loud. They're loud. And look, y'all, it's not because in the United States, they want to say we. We are the ones that are loud, not these folks, but these folks, right? Abroad, I do not find that to be the case. What do you think, Ailey?
I'm just the type to ask. I don't mind, but I know good and well I can be down and under low. Listen, that's the best way to learn.
That
So
part.
if
That
they,
part.
if you want to learn their culture, be among them. Best thing, you got two ears to hear and one mouth to speak. Use it
Exactly.
that way. Hear better than speak better. That's just the way I go.
Right?
I like to listen. I like listening in y'all chats when I be back there. And I only come in and ask a simple question and then let it go and let somebody else have the stage. That's just the way I've always been because it feels more comfortable to me to stay behind and listen up.
Mm.
Denmark, not the Netherlands. Thank you, Bonita. My dad used to say, because he was so fucking arrogant, I love you, daddy. But he would say, Halisi, whatever you're about to say is something that you already know. Maybe if you shut up and listen, you will learn something that you don't already know. Okay, daddy. Okay, daddy. Listen to my daddy. Whatever you gonna say is something that you already know, unless you're asking a question, right?
Mhm.
It's something you already know. So maybe if you shut up and listen, you may learn
Mm.
something.
Mhm.
Joe Vincent did not necessarily practice what he preached. Because he knew a lot. But he taught me a lot as well. All right, number 7. Number 7. You should stay in the USA if you expect blackness to look exactly like it does in America. Blackness is global. It is not a US branded thing, right? If your framework cannot expand past that, you'll miss the richness. All right? For instance, the nod is not a thing
Nope.
outside of the United States. The nod. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not a Black American. The nod is not a thing outside of the United States. Ailey, did you experience that in your travels?
Actually, they seem to like us over there more. I
Yeah.
mean, I noticed the difference when I was with white people and I went out in the neighborhood versus when I went out there with me and just my family. I could see the difference. So
Oh,
it was a
interesting.
different type of racism. They didn't care too much for the whites off of the base more than they liked the blacks off of the base.
Oh, you're former military.
Yes.
I forgot that. So that's a whole different thing. That is a whole different thing. And yes, you're right. You are absolutely right. But that's, interestingly, I wish they would articulate that. And I'm not sure if they are aware of that, but they know. They know that we tend to be more humble, humanistic, right? Compassionate.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but we just are. Like I don't know if that is intrinsic to who we are. I just know that's what it looks like in action. So if you are one of the righteous whiteness, if you're one of the spicy whites, we're not talking to you necessarily. But what I'm saying is that has definitely been the case, and that has definitely been our experience. Our other experience is when we see other folks from the diaspora, they're not going to give us
I see you.
that what's up, what's up, what's up.
I see you.
Well, as we're walking down the street, you're walking down the street,
It's a connection.
right? You ain't gonna get that
Mhm.
from other folks in the diaspora, y'all.
Okay.
So yeah, so the only time you're certainly not going to get that woman to man. You are not going to get that woman to man. Okay.
I don't
You
think so
may,
either.
yeah, no, you will in the States, of course, but with Africans, or maybe I don't know where these folks are from. They're not American. They don't speak English. You ain't gonna get no nod. Okay. But with other women, you might. If you say something like hello, good to see you, have a good day type of thing, you might get I see you. But by and large, that is not a thing, y'all, outside of the United States. Okay.
Okay.
So I don't want you to come abroad and look at other folks who look like they could be your cousin and BB and them, and then get upset and say that they're looking down upon you. It is a different culture.
They're not.
They're not even thinking about you.
Mhm.
They just know you're not from my tribe. They don't know that you're American. They cannot tell by the way you look that you're American unless you open your mouth. MOUF, mouth. Right? But that does not mean that there cannot be community with other folks from the diaspora. And we have that here in Lisbon, Portugal. We have a diaspora group where we do language exchange with Africans who speak Portuguese and Black Americans who are trying to learn Portuguese, and these Africans are trying to learn English. Okay. So don't think that just because there is that diasporic war in certain factions that is the default. That is not necessarily the default, y'all. And if you walk in assuming that, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out. Okay. Number 8.
You should stay in the US if you think discomfort automatically means danger. Growth often looks like confusion, inconvenience, and frustration. Not everything unfamiliar is a threat. It's not.
Oh, it's not.
Right?
It's not. Don't assume trouble.
Exactly. And this was even more obvious, I believe, in Colombia, because this was our first time in Colombia. We have always heard the BS about Colombia. Colombia has always been on our places to move list since the very beginning, since 2022. But we hadn't been there until 2025, y'all. We had not been there. But now that we've been there, the melon felon and his threats notwithstanding, I would totally live in Medellin, Colombia. I would totally live in Medellin, Colombia. That place is the bomb. I'm sorry. It is. They did the damn thing. All right. Bogota is probably gorgeous as well. I don't know. Stephanie lives there, so y'all can check her out and what she thinks about Bogota. We went to Cartagena. Cartagena is too small. Great place to visit. Too small for me.
Yeah.
Too much of a beach town. Not enough stuff going on.
And to get out in certain areas too, you have to have transportation.
Yeah, you have to have a car and stuff like that, more so than you need to have one in Medellin. So, but I love Cartagena. It was gorgeous. And a lot of Black folks, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Again, a lot of Afro Latinos. You are not going to get the nod. And just because you see a lot of us congregating does not mean it's dangerous.
No,
As a matter of fact, right, the former ghetto of Medellin is Comuna Terce, or the 13th community or something like that, Comuna Terce. And it now is a tourist trap. These folks these folks changed the front of their houses into some storefronts and everything else, and they got it going on. Okay, so if you go to Medellin, you've got to go and see Comuna Terce or 13 and do the tour. And do the tour with a local. Don't do the tour with some white person. Do the tour with a local so that they can explain to you the stuff. This used to be one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the world, y'all.
That's the US. That's the US now.
Right? They do not speak English for the most part in that area. And you see some very working class environments. That's how I'm gonna put it. And yet, it did not feel dangerous.
No, not
right?
threatening it at all.
The discomfort might be that basically nobody speaks English, but that does not mean it's dangerous. All right. So your discomfort does not mean danger. All right. Just remember that. Remember that. Number 9. You should stay in the USA if you want to escape, but not adapt. Leaving is not a witness protection program, y'all. All right. You don't disappear. No. You integrate. You integrate. Did you see? I know all of the folks who are members saw our post from New Year's Eve. I love this New Year's Eve. We spent time with. We had Portuguese folks there and American folks there, and we all celebrated New Year's Eve together in one home with all of these languages. Of course, English was the main language. We played games. We ate food. We enjoyed each other's different things that they brought to the table, be it culturally with food and drink or with the games and their answers and stuff like that, right? We had an amazing New Year's Eve, and then we saw fireworks from all over the world. I mean, from all over the city.
Awesome.
Totally awesome. Totally awesome. So when you move to it, like if integrating and learning the culture and learning some of the language, look, at this age, I'm never going to be fluent, but I will be communicative, right? If learning the language and all of that stuff does not bring you joy, if you like, nah, I ain't about that life, stay in the US. Because even in Australia, New Zealand, Nigeria, where they speak English, Britain, you still have to adapt.
Yes.
Right? Language ain't the only thing, y'all.
Culture.
And the culture is very, very different. It may not seem different when you look on TV. It may not seem different when you're just on vacation. Right? And you staying in a hotel where they are used to dealing with all types of people. And then you just go out and do your little tours and this and that and sightsee and take some pictures. That's one thing. But when you have to deal day to day,
and you have to live it
with the pharmacist, with the person who does your nails, with the cafe person, with the guy at the fruit stand, and your mechanic if you've got a car, and all of these other things. That's when you see the true differences. And it doesn't depend just upon language, y'all. It does not. Last but not least, number 10.
You should stay in the US if you're not actually interested in a different way of life. If what you really want is America, but a cheaper and quieter version of it, you're not ready.
You ain't ready. You are not ready. All right. So, Aileen, what do you want from your new country? What do you want?
Personally, I just would like mainly for just to have community again, just to be able to focus on other people where I don't feel like I'm gonna get yanked off the street and be out like I used to be, where I'm out with friends, going to a coffee shop, going to riding around on my bike everywhere and feeling like I'm welcomed like I used to be. Because
Right.
I never felt like that until what happened with Trump. Before that, hanging out with friends, going
Mm.
biking, hanging out in the parks, exercising, doing theme parks, making new friends, all of that. That was very much a part of my normal daily life. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm mainly looking for again.
Yeah. 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 It's kind of like a stop and smell the flowers kind of life. Just
Mhm.
relax, relax. It's okay. Smell the flowers, you know. I was talking to so my Spanish tutor, right? She born and raised and living in Venezuela, in Caracas, walking distance from the capital. Like when she shows me her view, we can see the Capitol building from her. So those bombs and all of that were too close to her home. And yet, right? Like when we talk about just the difference in lifestyles, right? And the hustle grind, hustle grind, hustle grind, as opposed to appreciating moments and having the time to appreciate moments because you are not so worried about how this is going to get paid or how that's going to get paid,
Mhm.
right? I look, I understand, and somebody was asking about international schools in Portugal. I understand that Portuguese folks don't have it like the folks like us who move here per se. Well, our landlord does. That's for damn sure. He got it good. They own lots of properties. They doing fine. But they live so simply. You would not know. They live right next door to us, even though they own other properties, houses up
Yes.
here and down there and this and that and the other, but they still just live in the same type of apartment that we live in, folks.
Mm.
This is the difference between wealth building in other countries and wealth building in the United States, because he would not live next door to us and own a house in the Algarve, another house here in Lisbon, a house up north, a couple of houses up north, et cetera, et cetera. He would not live next door to us with his wife and child, young adult child.
Yeah.
In
Sad.
America, they would live in a different stratosphere. But in Europe, they remember, don't get ahead of your skis if you were a skier. What do I mean by that? Times they are a changing, y'all. Times they are a changing. And what you don't want to do is being trying to keep up with the Joneses right now when the shit is about to hit the fan. I'm telling you,
I'm not.
the shit's about to hit the fan. The fam's about to hit the shit. I used to say the fit is about to hit the sham. It really is. And we're going to talk about that on Sunday
It is.
in depth. But y'all can see it coming. And when you act like our landlord acts and you live below your means, right? You still had, like, they just went on vacation for 7, 8 days. They was gone. They were gone. They be gone. Even though they're younger than us. I think they're still in their 40s or something, right? They be gone. They do the things, but they still live simply. Now, unlike most Portuguese people, they've got 2 cars. They live in an apartment and they have 2 cars. So that's one of their privileges, right?
And a motorcycle.
And a motorcycle slash, is it a motorcycle or is it a heavy moped?
He has a motorcycle.
Okay.
He rides
Okay. So they've got 3 vehicles: a smart car, a regular car, and a bike. Okay. They
Nice.
still just live right next door to us, even though they're doing very, very well. But they're not spending it on stuff and things, y'all. All right. That's what they're not doing. And these are kind of the adaptations that we need to make, because what was true yesterday is not going to be true tomorrow. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. The stuff that has gone on over these holidays, folks getting shot up by ICE, ICE acting a zip damn fool, right? The melon felon going around trying to pick fights with all these countries around the world. What the hell? But we still have folks up in our comments talking about we were fear mongering. In serio, fear mongering. I don't think so. All right, closing remarks, Ailey.
Well, mainly, I just believe that taking the steps that I am doing to get things done legally, planning on doing slow-mo travel, and focusing on saving everything and selling everything, that's what I am doing to help with this. All those reasons you've done, that don't bother me one bit at
Right?
all. I mean, because when I lived here, when I came back from overseas, I moved from San Antonio to Orlando, lived in Missouri for a short time, came back here. Now it's time to get out of the country instead of around the country like I was.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've lived several places. I've lived in Virginia, here. I was born and raised here,
Okay.
but I've
Yeah.
lived other places. I was married military, and the first place, he was born in Virginia. That's why I went to live in Virginia for a short time. After that, went to Japan. After we left that for 7 years, he was overseas, came back, and he was stationed in Oklahoma. I was in Texas, and we were working through things. My
Yeah.
point is, I'm used to adapting
Right.
in different things and just being back in community like I was overseas again. I really miss that. I do. And it isn't me running away, even if something were to happen and we get our government back, I still believe that my purpose is overseas again
Yeah.
because it's worth it. It's worth it.
It really is. And we left when we still thought that the melon felon was never going to get back in office. All right. So it's not just about the melon felon. It is also about quality of life, right? Especially for we folks who are tired of being policed by white civilians. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? So what we're talking about, folks, what we're talking about here, this wasn't about telling anyone what to do, right? This was not about that. This was about honesty. Because leaving the US is not for everyone. It is not for every person. And we know that because y'all been up in our comments talking about we were fear mongering and all this stuff. And Nicki Minaj was right and blah, blah, whoop de whoop. Never mind that she got people killed in Nigeria, but she was right and all this other nonsense. All right. So if you are one of those people saying that stuff, you're probably not one of the people who should leave the United States. And that's fine. And that's fine. But staying without a plan, like that's a choice. That's not a choice that we would suggest you do, but that is a choice. So on Sunday, we're going to go deeper, right? We're talking about why this moment in American history is not a glitch. All right. It's a system. And it is doing exactly what it was built to do. We will break down why institutions will not save us. Institutions will not save us. Why elections alone won't reverse this trajectory. If you are depending upon the midterms of 20, we just got to hold on till 2026. You're assuming that there's going to be an election. Y'all, we told you this over a year ago. We told you when Zelensky was in the White House, and when Trump found out that Zelensky hadn't had an election in 3 years because of war, he was like, let me see if I can do the same thing. He said it in front of God and everybody. But some of you are out there saying that we're fear-mongering when the man said, that's a good idea. You mean if I have a war, I ain't got to have elections? He said that. So the real question isn't, can America be fixed? That's not the question. That is not the question. The real question is, what do you need to do if it cannot be fixed? What do you need to do if it cannot be fixed? This is about power, timing, and personal strategy in a declining empire, y'all.
Yeah.
Farrakhan said it, damn near 20 years ago, that the first Black president was going to preside under a declining country. He said it back then. Didn't nobody listen? I listened. I remember. I heard him. I remember when he said it. So Sunday, we connect the dots. Until then, Ailey, hang on. Hang on, Ailey. Stay clear. Stay prepared. Stay intentional. If you need more money, our Side Hustle Challenge registration will be closing very, very soon. All right. You've already got information in your inbox. Go ahead and look. All right. Otherwise, it's in the description below. If you need one-on-one help, we got you. That information is in the description below as well. And of course, Beyond the Bling is our financial freedom program that is ongoing, comes with monthly group coaching. And that information is in the description below as well. As far as international schools in Portugal, I don't know how expensive it is, y'all, because we don't have no kids.
I heard it was
in international school. I've heard it was expensive.
I heard it was costly.
But costly is relative. Like $24,000, $50,000 a year. Google it. I bet you can find out. Yeah. Our Move to Portugal Virtual Summit, we did have somebody speaking about schools. But you don't need to have your kid in an international school per se. We've got lots of friends here who have kids, and we can ask them. So schedule a one-on-one call. Let us know what's going on. We can connect you. We have too many friends to count that have kids that are in high school or under, all the way down to like 6 and 7 years old, y'all. Okay. So we can tell you what they're doing. And all of these families have been here for at least 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 years, to 5 years, even some of them. Okay.
Yeah.
And Bonita, Panama was cool. Rick loved Panama. I liked Panama.
I really liked.
I don't mind Panama, but I loved Medellin. He loved both. Okay. So to each his own, to each his own. There's lovely, lovely, lovely folks in Panama. That's the thing. And they've got the bomb sky bars and stuff like that, rooftop bars and stuff like that. Colombia and Panama got going on as far as that concerned. And decent food up there as well. So I like Panama is totally on our list, y'all. Totally on our list. And with that, we will let you go. We went way over for a Thursday, but we'll see you on Sunday. Bye.